Kai walked carefully over the cracked stone floor of the abandoned city. The ruins of Viridian stretched around him, with broken towers and walls covered in strange green moss. The wind whispered through empty streets, and the sky glowed with a soft purple hue. He had been exploring this planet for weeks, looking for old artifacts and hidden places, but nothing had prepared him for what he would find today. In the center of a ruined plaza, Kai noticed a faint light coming from beneath a collapsed building. Curiosity pulled him forward. He crawled under the broken stones and found a small chamber sealed by thick metal doors. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the surface, and a soft hum came from inside. Kai's heart beat faster. He had discovered something important. He pushed the doors carefully, and they creaked open. The chamber was filled with a soft, golden light. In the center of the room, a glass sarcophagus floated slightly above the ground. Inside lay a woman. She looked very old, yet her features were perfect. Her skin was pale, and her hair floated around her head as if under water. Her eyes were closed, and she seemed to be sleeping. Kai stepped closer. He reached out and ran his fingers lightly along the smooth glass. He had never seen anything like this before. His mind raced with questions. Who was she? How long had she been here? Why was she in this strange chamber? He could not resist a small, mischievous thought. He leaned forward and, with a joking smile, kissed her lips lightly. It felt silly at first, a joke for an explorer who had nothing else to do. But then, something unexpected happened. The light in the chamber grew brighter. The air around Kai seemed to vibrate. He stepped back, suddenly uneasy. And then, her eyes opened. They glowed with a bright, strange color that seemed to pierce through him. Kai froze. "Now you share my sentence," she said, her voice clear and strong. It echoed in the chamber even though her mouth barely moved. Kai stumbled back, unsure if he had imagined it. I was just joking," he stammered. His heart raced, and sweat ran down his face. The woman sat up slowly in the sarcophagus. Her movements were elegant and calm, but full of power. The chamber pulsed with energy, and Kai felt a sudden weight in his mind. Memories that were not his own flashed before his eyes. He saw wars, cities burning, and strange alien creatures moving through the stars. He felt pain, loss, and hope, all at once. "I am Lirael," the woman said. Her voice was calm but firm. "I was imprisoned here by an empire that feared knowledge. Thousands of years ago, I discovered secrets that could free many worlds. They sealed me in this prison, and anyone who breaks the seal must bear my sentence until it is undone." Kai tried to speak, but the weight in his mind made it hard. "Your sentence?" he asked carefully. "Yes," Lirael said. "Because of your action, you now carry my memories and my burden. You will see the past I lived, the pain I endured, and the responsibilities I carry. You will feel it all until the prison is opened fully and the curse is lifted." Kai felt a wave of dizziness. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. Images of alien cities, strange creatures, and battles he had never seen overwhelmed him. He gasped for breath, but Lirael's calm presence grounded him. She reached out a hand, and he instinctively took it. The energy surrounding them was strong, but it also felt protective. "Do not panic," she said. "Your mind will adjust. The visions will not harm you, but they will teach you. You must learn quickly, for there are those who would seek to destroy this knowledge and punish anyone connected to it." Kai slowly stood, shaking. His mind was still filled with fragments of her life. He could remember her being chased, captured, and trapped in the sarcophagus. He could see herself standing against powerful enemies, fighting for freedom and planning to help others. It was overwhelming, but he could also sense the strength she carried. I don't understand," Kai said. "Why me? I didn't mean to. You acted impulsively, Lirael said, her eyes softening slightly. But impulsive action can have consequences, even if it is not intended. You now share my fate, but you are also capable of changing it. Humans are clever, strong, and adaptable. That is why I sense hope in you. Kai blinked, trying to calm himself. He had always believed humans were special, but he had never imagined being part of something so extraordinary. He looked at Lirael and saw not only her beauty, but her strength, intelligence, and determination. Somehow, he felt connected to her. Where do we go now? He asked. We must leave this place, Lirael said. The Empire may have fallen long ago, but its agents and guardians remain. They will seek to prevent anyone from freeing me completely. We must find the Orb of Eternity. It is the only way to break the curse and release both of us. Kai nodded, trying to focus. His mind was still heavy with visions, but he felt determination growing. He was no longer just an explorer searching for artifacts. He was part of something much larger. Together, they left the chamber. Kai carried with him a mix of fear, excitement, and responsibility. Lirael walked beside him, her eyes scanning the ruins for danger. The wind blew through the city ruins, carrying the scent of old stone and moss. The adventure had only just begun, and the universe seemed larger and more dangerous than Kai had ever imagined. As they moved forward, Kai realized one thing clearly. He had shared a simple joke, but it had changed his life forever. The ancient prisoner was awake, and now, so was he, bound to her sentence. Yet in that bond, he also found purpose, courage, and a glimpse of human potential in a galaxy full of unknown threats. Kai followed Lirael carefully through the ruins, his mind still swirling with fragments of her past. Every step he took reminded him that he now shared her burden. The images and memories still came in flashes, making his head feel heavy, but he forced himself to focus on the present. The wind carried the soft sound of distant rocks shifting, and shadows moved strangely among the broken walls. Lirael moved with quiet grace, her eyes scanning the horizon constantly. She was aware of danger, and though she had been imprisoned, for thousands of years, she still carried the instincts of a warrior. Kai could see that even in her weakened state, her mind was sharp and commanding. He tried to match her pace, though his body felt slower, burdened by the weight of her memories. Kai, Lirael said, her voice calm but firm. You must understand what has happened to you. This is not a simple accident. By breaking the seal on my prison, you have become part of my sentence. You will see everything I have seen, feel everything I have felt, and carry my responsibilities. You must accept it if we are to survive. Kai swallowed hard. I think I understand, but it is so much. I feel like I am carrying a lifetime I never lived. That is exactly it, Lirael said. The sentence is not meant to harm you, but to teach you. You must understand my past to help shape the future. There are enemies who still want to keep me imprisoned. The empire that captured me is gone, but the knowledge I hold is still dangerous to some. We must move carefully. Kai nodded, trying to absorb her words. He felt the images coming again, sharper this time. He saw entire fleets of alien ships attacking planets, cities destroyed by energy weapons, and creatures he could not even name. At first it was overwhelming, but Lirael placed a hand on his shoulder. Her touch was steady and reassuring. You are not alone in this, she said. Even though you carry my sentence, your human mind gives us an advantage. Humans are resilient and creative. You will find solutions in ways the ancient empire could not have predicted. Kai took a deep breath. He had always believed humans were strong, but seeing Lirael's calm confidence made him realize the truth of her words. They had to escape the ruins quickly before anyone else discovered them. The sarcophagus chamber had emitted a signal when he broke the seal. If there were still agents of the Empire or other seekers of knowledge, they would come. As they moved, Lirael explained her story more fully. She had been a scholar, an explorer of the universe, and a keeper of knowledge that could unite worlds. The Empire feared what she knew, so they imprisoned her in stasis. Her life had been long and full of struggle, yet she had always hoped someone would come to free her. When Kai had acted without thinking, he had unknowingly fulfilled that hope. Kai listened, trying to process everything. He felt a strange connection to her story, as if parts of it belonged to him now too. The visions came again, and he saw herself standing before massive armies, giving speeches, negotiating with alien rulers, and even making difficult decisions that cost lives. It was both terrifying and inspiring. He realized that the humans of his own time had survived many dangers because of their courage, creativity, and willingness to take risks. "Why me?" he asked after a pause. "Why did the curse attach to me and not someone else?" Lirael looked at him with a small, serious smile. "You acted without fear, without hesitation. You are curious and bold. The universe often chooses those who act, not those who wait. You may not feel ready, but you have qualities that will help both of us survive. You have human ingenuity, and that is what I need." Kai felt a strange warmth in her words. It was encouraging and frightening at the same time. He was just an explorer, not a hero, but Lirael made him feel as though he could rise to the challenge. He promised himself that he would do whatever was necessary to survive and to help her complete her mission. As they exited the ruins, the sky of Viridian changed color. A soft orange glow bathed the broken towers, and distant lightning streaked across the horizon. The air grew colder, and shadows moved more rapidly among the stones. Kai felt the first signs of the curse's power manifest in his body. His vision blurred, and flashes of Lirael's memories filled his mind. He saw a forest fire, a city under siege, and countless people in danger. It was exhausting, but he refused to fall. Lirael guided him to a small, hidden path leading away from the city. "We must reach the safety of the mountains before nightfall," she said. "The Empire's followers, or any who seek to use this knowledge for themselves, are still watching. They may appear at any moment." Kai followed, every sense alert. He had never felt so alive and so responsible at the same time. Every step felt like a test of his endurance, and every shadow seemed to hide danger. Yet he also felt hope. Humans could survive in harsh conditions, adapt to unknown threats, and find solutions that others could not imagine. He realized that his species' strength was not just in their physical abilities, but in their creativity, courage, and determination. As they reached the edge of a rocky valley, Lirael paused and looked at him. "You are beginning to understand," she said. "Your mind is learning to carry my sentence. Soon, you will be able to access my memories more clearly and use them to guide our actions. But remember, the knowledge is dangerous. We must be careful how we proceed." Kai nodded. He felt the weight of her past pressing on him, but he also felt a spark of confidence. He had shared her curse, yet he had also inherited a purpose. He realized that the universe was testing him, and he could rise to meet it. Night fell quickly, and the temperature dropped. They set up a small camp in the shadow of a cliff, using rocks and debris for shelter. Kai tried to sleep, but the visions continued, showing him fragments of battles, cities, and strange alien technology. Lirael sat quietly nearby, her eyes scanning the darkness. Her presence comforted him, reminding him that he was not alone. "We will rest for a short time," Lirael said. "Tomorrow we must begin our journey to find the orb of eternity. It is the key to ending this sentence, and it is far from here. You will need all your strength, courage, and intelligence. Kai lay down on the cold ground, feeling exhausted but determined. The burden of Lirael's past was heavy, yet he knew that humans could face impossible challenges and survive. He closed his eyes and let the visions fade for a moment, preparing himself for the journey ahead. As the wind whispered through the valley, Kai understood something important. He had kissed a mysterious prisoner as a joke, but that small action had changed his life forever. He now shared her sentence, her memories, and her mission. Yet within that challenge, he found a chance to prove the power of human courage, creativity, and resilience in a galaxy filled with danger. The first light of dawn painted the valley in shades of orange and purple. Kai stirred from his uneasy sleep, feeling the weight of Lirael's memories pressing against his mind. Each memory came in small flashes now, glimpses of her struggles, the battles she had faced, and the people she had tried to save. They were difficult to endure, but Kai had begun to understand them better. Lirael was already awake, standing at the edge of the cliff and looking toward the horizon. Her expression was calm, but there was determination in her eyes. "We cannot stay here," she said. "Those who seek the orb of eternity are already moving. We must keep to the shadows and travel carefully." Kai struggled to his feet, still feeling the heaviness in his head. "I can feel her memories stronger this morning," he said. "It is like I am living parts of her life, not mine." "That is the nature of the curse," Lirael said. "It will strengthen as we move closer to the orb. You must learn to focus and use what you see. The visions can guide you if you remain calm. Fear and panic will only make it harder." Kai nodded, taking a deep breath. He had to accept the challenge, for running from it was no longer an option. They began walking along a narrow mountain path, careful not to leave traces that could be followed. The terrain was rugged and steep, but Lirael's knowledge of the land helped them avoid dangerous areas. As they moved, Kai noticed the first active effect of the curse. When he looked at certain objects, rocks, trees, or the broken remnants of old buildings, he could see echoes of Lirael's past. A fallen stone might show her hiding from soldiers long ago. A hollow tree could reveal a secret meeting with allies. The visions were fleeting, but they provided clues that could keep them safe. "This is amazing," Kai said quietly. "I never imagined I could see the past like this." Lirael glanced at him with a small smile. "It is more than amazing. It is dangerous. Knowledge can save you, but it can also overwhelm you. You must learn to filter what is important." Kai focused, forcing himself to pay attention only to the details that mattered. Slowly, he began to sense patterns. The visions guided him to safer paths, avoided hidden traps, and even revealed places where food and water might be found. Lirael watched him carefully, pleased with his progress. By midday, they had reached a plateau overlooking a deep canyon. The view was both beautiful and threatening. Across the canyon, Kai could see the ruins of another city, much larger than the one they had left. He also noticed movement, strange shapes that did not belong to the animals of Viridian. His heart tightened. "Those are scouts," Lirael said, following his gaze. "They are remnants of the Empire's agents. They may not know we exist yet, but if we are careless, they will find us." Kai swallowed hard. The weight of the curse felt heavier now, pressing him to think faster and act smarter. "How do we deal with them?" he asked. "We move carefully," Lirael said, "and we use your human abilities. You think quickly, improvise, and notice details that others might miss. That is why you are valuable. The visions give us information, but it is your mind that will guide our actions." They spent the afternoon navigating through narrow paths along the canyon edge. Every now and then, the visions would flash, showing moments of danger Lirael had faced long ago. Kai used them to anticipate obstacles, avoid ambushes, and find hidden routes that allowed them to remain unseen. He began to understand the power of the curse, not as a punishment, but as a tool. By evening, they reached a small cave hidden behind a waterfall. The rushing water concealed their presence, and the cave offered shelter for the night. Kai felt a sense of relief. His body was exhausted, but his mind was sharper than before. He realized that the curse was teaching him to balance fear with focus, memory with action. As they settled inside the cave, Lirael began to share more about the Orb of Eternity. "The orb is not just a device," she said. "It is a repository of knowledge and power created by the ancient civilizations before the Empire rose. It can undo curses, reveal secrets, and even restore balance to worlds. That is why I was imprisoned. The Empire feared what I could do if I reached it." Kai listened, absorbing every word. He understood that their journey would be dangerous. The orb was far away, and they would face enemies who would stop at nothing to prevent them from reaching it. But he also felt determination growing within him. Humans had survived against impossible odds before, and he believed they could do it again. "Will the orb remove the curse completely?" Kai asked. "Yes," Lirael said, "but only if we reach it and use it together. The curse is tied to both of us. Your human strength and my knowledge must combine to succeed. Alone, neither of us could do it." Kai nodded, feeling a sense of responsibility. He was no longer just an explorer. He was part of something much larger, a mission that could shape the future of the galaxy. Night fell, and the cave was filled with the sound of the waterfall. Kai tried to rest, but the visions continued, showing flashes of Lirael's past battles and decisions. Some were frightening, but others were inspiring. He saw how she had saved lives, outsmarted enemies, and protected knowledge that could benefit countless civilizations. Lirael sat nearby, keeping watch. "You are learning quickly," she said. "Humans have a unique way of thinking. You adapt, create, and survive. That is why I believe we can reach the orb and end this curse. But you must remember, the journey will not be easy. The Empire's followers are patient and ruthless." Kai nodded again. He felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. The curse was heavy, but it was also a guide. It pushed him to think, to act, and to trust his instincts. He realized that humans could achieve great things when they faced challenges, even against forces much older and stronger than themselves. Before sleep claimed him, Kai looked at Lirael. He saw not only her strength and wisdom, but also the trust she was placing in him. He felt a bond forming between them, built on shared burdens, mutual respect, and the need to survive together. As the night deepened, Kai closed his eyes. The visions continued, but he no longer feared them. They were a part of his journey, a bridge between the past and the future. He understood that by sharing Lirael's sentence, he was becoming stronger, sharper, and more capable. He was beginning to see the true potential of humans in a galaxy filled with danger and mystery. When the first light of dawn reached the cave, Kai was ready. He stood, stretching his tired muscles, and felt a new determination. Lirael was at his side, her eyes bright with purpose. Together, they would continue their journey to the Orb of Eternity, facing whatever challenges awaited. Kai had shared a simple joke, a single kiss, but it had changed his life forever. He carried a sentence that was not his own, yet within it, he found courage, wisdom, and hope. The journey had only begun, but already he knew that humans could rise to meet impossible challenges, and with determination, intelligence, and heart, they could survive anything the universe sent their way. The sun had risen high above the jagged mountains of Viridian, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain. Kai and Lirael moved carefully along a narrow path that wound between cliffs and steep drops. Each step required attention, for one wrong move could send them tumbling down into the canyon below. Kai's body ached, but the weight of the curse made him stronger in focus and determination. Lirael led the way, her eyes scanning for any signs of movement. She had become attuned to the terrain, knowing which rocks might give way and which paths were safest. Kai followed, relying on both his instincts and the visions that came from sharing her sentence. He could feel her memories guiding him toward hidden dangers and unseen paths. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught Kai's eye. He froze, raising a hand to signal Lirael. She stopped immediately, crouching low behind a large boulder. From his hiding spot, Kai could see a group of strange figures moving along a ridge above them. They were armored in black and silver, carrying weapons Kai had never seen before. His stomach tightened. "Those are the scouts I warned you about," Lirael whispered. "They may not know we are here yet, but if we are seen, they will attack without hesitation." Kai swallowed hard. The curse's visions began to flare in his mind, showing flashes of Lirael's encounters with enemies in similar situations. He saw strategies, ambushes, and ways to evade detection. His human mind started to connect the visions with the present, forming a plan in seconds. "We can use the rocks and the shadows," he said quietly. "If we move slowly and stay low, we can reach the next ridge without being noticed." Lirael nodded, impressed. "Good. The curse will guide you, but your choices will decide our success. Trust your instincts." Step by step, they moved along the cliffside. Kai felt the curse sharpen his senses. He could hear the faintest footsteps, see tiny movements in the distance, and anticipate when the guards would pause or change direction. Lirael watched him closely, noting how quickly he was learning to use the visions and instincts together. As they neared the edge of the ridge, a loose stone gave way under Kai's foot. He froze, but Lirael reacted instantly. She grabbed his arm, pulling him behind a boulder just as the stone tumbled down the cliffside. The scouts glanced in their direction but did not notice them. "That was close," Kai whispered, his heart racing. "You are learning," Lirael said. "Humans have a unique ability to adapt quickly. That is why you are valuable. The curse shows you the past, but your decisions will shape our survival." They continued along the ridge, carefully choosing each step. The sun was high, and the heat made their journey more exhausting. Kai felt his muscles burning and his mind heavy with visions, but he pushed forward. He understood that the curse was not a punishment. It was a tool, a way to combine Lirael's knowledge with his human creativity. As they rounded a sharp corner, the path narrowed. A sheer drop lay on one side, and a cliff wall rose on the other. Kai noticed shadows moving along the cliff wall ahead. He held his breath, sensing that danger was close. The visions intensified, showing Lirael's past encounters with hidden enemies. He saw where they had ambushed her, how she had escaped, and how she had used the terrain to her advantage. "Kai, stop," Lirael whispered. "Do not move until I signal. They are waiting to see if we will take the path." Kai crouched low, his mind racing through the visions and the current situation. He realized they could use the narrow path to their advantage. If they stayed close to the cliff wall and moved slowly, the scouts would not see them. But if they made a sudden move, they would be exposed. Carefully, he and Lirael began to inch forward. Every step was deliberate, every breath measured. The scouts below adjusted their positions, but the two travelers remained hidden. The curse's visions guided Kai's movements, showing him where loose stones lay, where shadows were deepest, and where the enemy's attention was weakest. Halfway along the path, a scout turned suddenly, looking directly at them. Kai froze, and Lirael's hand touched his shoulder. The visions flared again, showing the exact moment to move. Together they darted forward, slipping into the next shadow before the scout could react. Their hearts pounded, but they remained unseen. When they reached the end of the narrow path, Kai leaned against the cliff, catching his breath. "That was too close," he said, his voice trembling slightly. Lyrael smiled, a small, proud expression. "You did well. Humans have a way of thinking that is unpredictable. That is why you survived. The visions show the past, but your decisions in the present make the difference." Kai felt a new confidence rising. The curse had given him knowledge, but his own courage and quick thinking had kept them alive. He realized that humans could face dangers far greater than themselves and still find a way to survive. As the day wore on, they continued their journey through the mountains. The terrain grew more difficult, with sharp rocks, loose gravel, and sudden drops. Kai felt the curse's weight more heavily, but he also felt its guidance. He saw flashes of hidden paths, tunnels, and safe places where they could rest. Lyrael followed his lead, trusting his instincts and the connection they shared through the curse. By late afternoon, they reached a small plateau overlooking a wide valley. In the distance, Kai could see the remains of an old settlement. The buildings were crumbling, but there were signs of recent activity. He felt a flicker of unease. "Stay alert," Lyrael said. "The Empire's followers could be using these ruins. We must approach carefully." Kai nodded, scanning the area. The curse's visions flared, showing echoes of Lyrael's past actions in similar situations. He saw how she had avoided traps, negotiated with enemies, and used the terrain to her advantage. He realized that humans could do the same. By combining instinct, creativity, and courage, they could survive threats that seemed impossible. As they descended into the valley, they moved slowly, keeping to the shadows. Kai noticed small signs of life: footprints, discarded tools, and faint smoke from a distant fire. The scouts had not found them yet, but the danger was real. He felt a surge of determination. He would not fail. Humans were clever, adaptable, and persistent. He would use every advantage he had to protect Lyrael and complete their mission. Night began to fall as they reached the edge of the settlement. They found a hidden place behind a cluster of broken walls, providing cover for the night. Kai sat down, exhausted but alert. The curse's visions were quieter now, allowing him to rest. Lyrael remained watchful, but she allowed a small smile to appear on her face. "You are learning quickly," she said softly. "The challenges ahead will grow, but your courage and human ingenuity give us a chance. Together, we can reach the orb and break the curse. But remember, the journey will not be easy. The universe is filled with dangers, and we must be prepared for everything." Kai nodded, feeling both fear and determination. He had shared a sentence that was not his own, yet within it he had found purpose, strength, and hope. He realized that humans could rise to challenges that seemed impossible, and with courage, intelligence, and unity, they could survive anything the universe threw at them. As the stars appeared above the valley, Kai and Lyrael prepared for the night. They were tired, but they were alive. The first real test of the curse's guidance had passed, and they had survived. Kai understood that the journey was only beginning, and that humans had the power to overcome even the most ancient and dangerous forces. The valley was quiet, but Kai could feel the tension in the air. He and Lyrael had survived the cliffs, the scouts, and the narrow paths, yet he knew their journey was far from over. Every step forward brought new dangers, and every shadow could hide a threat. The curse pressed on his mind, showing glimpses of the past and giving him warnings he did not fully understand. "We must move carefully," Lyrael said as they packed their small supplies. "The orb of eternity is still far, and there are those who want to stop us." Kai nodded. The visions had grown stronger with each passing day, showing him moments from Lyrael's life that had once been secrets. He now saw not only battles and dangers, but also betrayals. People she had trusted had turned against her, some for power, others out of fear. The flashes were like warnings, teaching him that the universe held dangers that were not always obvious. As they began their journey through the valley, a small spacecraft appeared over the ridge. Kai froze, feeling the curse stir with urgency. Lyrael's eyes narrowed as she recognized the craft. "A traitor," she whispered. "He is not what he seems. Approach with caution." Kai followed her instructions, moving slowly as they approached a clearing where the traitor had landed. The man emerged from the ship, dressed in worn robes and carrying a small satchel. His smile seemed friendly, but Kai could sense something off. The visions showed him fragments of Lyrael's past encounters with people who appeared helpful but betrayed her. "Greetings," the traitor said, raising his hands. "I see you are travelers. Perhaps I can help you on your journey." Lyrael's gaze was steady, her hand resting on the hidden weapon at her side. "We need no help from strangers," she said, "especially not those who appear suddenly in dangerous places." The traitor laughed softly. "I only wish to guide you safely. There are many dangers ahead. I know the paths through the mountains, and I can show you hidden shelters and safe passages." Kai felt a tug in his mind. The visions warned him of deceit. "Lyrael," he whispered, "something is not right. He is hiding something." She nodded slightly. "I sense it too." "Trust your instincts, Kai. Humans are clever because they notice what others overlook." Kai decided to test the traitor. He asked about the Orb of Eternity, and the traitor's expression changed slightly, almost imperceptibly. The visions flared, showing Kai a memory of Lyrael's past, someone offering help to gain control of the knowledge she carried. It confirmed his suspicion. The traitor was not an ally. Before they could act, the traitor reached into his satchel and produced a small device. It emitted a bright light, and shadows stretched across the valley. Kai felt the visions intensify, showing him the danger Lyrael had faced in similar situations. She had been trapped by those who pretended to help, and now it seemed history was repeating itself. "Move!" Lyrael shouted, grabbing Kai's arm. Together they sprinted toward a cluster of rocks that offered cover. The device sent pulses of energy through the ground, and the air shimmered with power. Kai felt the curse push him, showing him a path that would allow them to escape. They darted from rock to rock, following the visions that guided their movements. The traitor cursed and shouted behind them, but he could not follow without revealing his own weaknesses. Kai's heart pounded, but he felt alive. The curse was not just a burden, it was a guide, and humans had the ability to use it wisely. After several tense minutes, they reached a narrow canyon where the traitor could not follow. They paused to catch their breath, hiding behind a large boulder. Kai's mind was racing, but the visions showed him fragments of how Lyrael had handled betrayals in the past. She had used patience, observation, and clever strategy to turn dangerous situations in her favor. Lyrael looked at him and smiled faintly. "You did well. The curse guided you, but your decisions saved us. That is the power of human thinking. You adapt, plan, and act in ways that others cannot predict." Kai felt a sense of pride mixed with exhaustion. He had survived the first real betrayal of their journey, and he realized that humans could face deceit and danger with intelligence and courage. The curse was teaching him to see beyond appearances, to trust instincts, and to act decisively when necessary. As night fell, they continued through the canyon, moving carefully to avoid detection. The stars above were bright, and the cool air brought relief after the day's heat. Kai felt the visions become quieter, allowing him to rest his mind, but he remained alert. The memory of the traitor's betrayal lingered, a reminder that not everyone could be trusted. They found a small cave tucked behind a waterfall, offering shelter and water. Kai and Lirael settled inside, their bodies tired but their spirits determined. The curse's visions were less intense now, but fragments of Lirael's past still appeared, showing him strategies, dangers, and lessons. He realized that every challenge they faced was a test, not just of strength but of human ingenuity and adaptability. "Tomorrow, we continue," Lirael said softly. "The orb of eternity is closer, but the path will grow more dangerous. We must rely on both the visions and your human thinking. That is why I trust you, Kai. You are learning faster than I expected." Kai nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. He was no longer just an explorer or a companion. He was part of a mission that could shape the future. Humans had survived countless dangers in their history, and now he understood why. Courage, intelligence, and the ability to adapt made them strong, even in the face of ancient and powerful forces. As Kai drifted to sleep, he reflected on the events of the day. The trader's betrayal had been a test, showing him that danger often came in unexpected forms. The curse had guided him, but it was his human decisions that had kept them alive. He felt a growing confidence, knowing that humans could face impossible challenges and survive. In the quiet of the cave, Kai realized something important. The curse was not only a burden, but also a teacher. It was revealing the strength of humans, their ability to think, adapt, and overcome. He understood that he and Lirael were part of something greater, a mission that would test not just their courage, but their intelligence, their creativity, and their resilience. Outside, the wind rustled through the canyon, carrying the scent of distant mountains and hidden dangers. Kai and Lirael rested for the night, readying themselves for the challenges ahead. The betrayal of the traitor had strengthened their resolve, reminding them that trust must be earned and that humans could rise to meet even the most cunning threats. Kai closed his eyes, feeling the visions fade into the background. He was tired, but he knew the journey was far from over. The orb of eternity awaited, and with it, the chance to break the curse and unlock knowledge that could change the galaxy. He had shared a sentence that was not his own, yet within it, he found courage, wisdom, and the power to survive. The night passed quietly, but Kai's mind remained alert. He was learning, growing, and discovering the true potential of humans in a universe filled with danger and mystery. With Lirael by his side, he felt ready to face whatever lay ahead, knowing that humans could overcome even the most ancient and powerful forces when they acted with intelligence, courage, and unity. The next morning, Kai and Lirael began their final stretch toward the orb of eternity. The mountains grew steeper, the paths narrower, and the air thinner. Every step tested their endurance, but Kai felt the curse guiding him more clearly now. He could sense Lirael's past memories blending with his present, showing him dangers ahead and secret ways to navigate the terrain. "This is it," Lirael said softly, pointing toward a high plateau in the distance. "Beyond that ridge lies the temple where the orb is kept. We must be careful. The Guardians are not active like soldiers, but the defenses are deadly. One wrong step could trap us forever." Kai swallowed hard, feeling both fear and anticipation. The curse pressed on him, showing flashes of Lirael's past encounters with the temple. He saw her navigating traps, facing illusions, and solving puzzles that required intelligence, courage, and patience. Now, he understood that he would need to use all of his human skills to survive this final challenge. As they climbed the ridge, the wind picked up, carrying a chill that cut through their clothing. The path was steep, and loose stones made each step dangerous. Kai's heart raced, but he focused on the visions, following the hidden paths Lirael's memories revealed. Together they moved cautiously, avoiding pitfalls and areas that the Guardians might have monitored. When they reached the plateau, the temple appeared before them. Its walls glowed faintly with a soft blue light, and strange symbols covered every surface. The air hummed with energy, and Kai felt the curse grow heavier in his mind. Lirael's memories flared, showing him traps and mechanisms that had been deadly to those who came before. "We must enter carefully," Lirael said. "The orb protects itself with intelligence and power. It will test us, challenge our minds, and confront our fears. Are you ready?" Kai nodded, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and dread. He had come far since the moment he had kissed Lirael's lips as a joke. That small act had bound him to her sentence, but it had also led him to this moment. Humans had survived impossible challenges in their history, and now he would need to prove that again. The temple doors opened with a soft hum as Lirael placed her hand on the surface. Kai followed closely, stepping into a vast chamber filled with floating platforms, glowing orbs, and shimmering barriers. The room seemed alive, and Kai felt the curse intensify. Lirael's memories guided him, showing him where to step and what to avoid, but he also needed to trust his instincts. The first challenge appeared immediately. A platform shifted beneath their feet, and a series of glowing barriers rose in patterns they could barely predict. Kai felt the visions flare, showing flashes of Lirael navigating similar dangers long ago. He took a deep breath and followed the path the vision suggested, moving carefully and timing each step with precision. Lirael followed beside him, her presence steady and reassuring. "Remember, Kai," she said, "the curse shows you possibilities, but your choices shape reality. Trust what you see, but also trust yourself." Kai nodded, feeling the truth of her words. He stepped forward with confidence, relying on both the visions and his own judgment. The barriers shifted, the platforms moved, and the room seemed to test their every decision. But together, they advanced, combining the curse's guidance with human intuition and courage. After what felt like hours, they reached a central chamber where the orb of eternity floated above a pedestal. It glowed with a bright, pure light that seemed to pulse with life. Kai felt the curse reach its peak, showing him every memory Lirael had experienced in this temple. The visions were overwhelming, but he focused, grounding himself in the present and the knowledge that humans could endure even the most daunting challenges. Lirael stepped forward and extended her hand toward the orb. "This is it," she said. "The final step. Together we can end the curse and release the knowledge for those who deserve it." Kai joined her, placing his hand beside hers on the orb. The light enveloped them, and the chamber seemed to disappear. Kai felt the curse lift slightly, though the memories remained, guiding him but no longer pressing with the same weight. He saw Lirael's past, present, and future as one continuous stream of possibilities, and he understood the true purpose of the sentence. The orb reacted to their unity. Its light intensified, and the symbols on the walls shifted, revealing patterns and pathways that had been hidden. Kai felt the knowledge of countless civilizations flowing through him. Yet he also felt human determination anchoring the power. He realized that the curse had prepared him, that humans had the strength to harness even the most ancient and powerful forces. Suddenly, a final test appeared. Shadows formed along the walls, taking shapes of enemies from Lirael's past. They moved toward them, silent but threatening. Kai felt fear, but he also felt the courage that humans carried in their hearts. He focused, using the visions to anticipate the shadows' movements and stepping with precision and strategy. Lirael mirrored his actions, their movements perfectly synchronized. Together they navigated the final challenge, combining the curses, guidance with human creativity and bravery. The shadows dissolved and the chamber became still. The orb's light brightened, responding to their success. Kai felt the weight of the curse lift completely, Lyrael's memories were still present, but they no longer overwhelmed him. He understood her experiences, her struggles, and her wisdom. They were partners now, connected not just by the sentence, but by mutual respect and shared purpose. Lyrael smiled, a look of relief and pride on her face. "We have done it, Kai. The curse is broken. The orb is ours, and the knowledge it holds is ready to be shared wisely. You have proven that humans can rise to challenges that seemed impossible, and that courage, intelligence, and determination are the greatest powers in the universe." Kai felt a surge of accomplishment. He had started this journey as an explorer, acting on a simple joke, and now he stood at the center of a moment that could change the course of history. He had shared a sentence not his own, but through it, he had discovered the true potential of humans. As they left the temple, the mountains of Viridian stretched out before them, quiet and majestic. The orb of eternity floated safely in a protective field, its light now calm and steady. Kai and Lyrael walked side by side, ready to face the future together, knowing that the universe held challenges, but also endless possibilities. Kai realized that humans had survived countless dangers because of their ability to think, adapt, and act with courage. He had experienced it firsthand, guided by the curse, but empowered by his own choices. He understood that even in a galaxy filled with unknown threats, humans could rise to meet the impossible. Together, Kai and Lyrael stepped out into the sunlight, ready to share the knowledge of the orb, protect it from those who would misuse it, and explore the universe with courage and wisdom. The sentence that had bound them had transformed into a journey of discovery, proving that humans could face ancient power and survive, stronger and wiser than before. Kai looked at Lyrael and smiled. Their journey had changed them both, but it had also shown the limitless strength of the human spirit. With determination, intelligence, and unity, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead, carrying the lessons of the past and the promise of the future. Kai and Lyrael stepped out of the temple into the warm light of the morning. The mountains of Viridian stretched before them, quiet and peaceful, yet full of promise. The orb of eternity floated beside them, its calm blue glow a reminder of the power and knowledge they had earned. The curse that had bound Kai to Lyrael was now lifted, replaced by understanding, strength, and unity. Kai took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their journey behind him. He had shared Lyrael's sentence, experienced centuries of memories, faced betrayal, and survived the guardians of the orb. Now he could see the purpose of everything that had happened. Humans were remarkable because they could adapt, think, and face danger with courage. He felt proud not only for himself, but for what his species represented. Lyrael walked beside him, her expression calm and serene. "The orb is secure," she said. "Its knowledge can now be used to help civilizations, not destroy them. But our work is not done. There will always be those who seek power without understanding. We must ensure this knowledge is protected and shared wisely." Kai nodded. "I understand. Humans can survive impossible challenges because we think, create, and act with courage. We adapt. That is why we are strong." Lyrael smiled faintly. "And that is why I trusted you, Kai. The curse was never meant to harm you. It was meant to teach you, and through you it has shown the universe the potential of humans. You have learned quickly, acted wisely, and faced danger with determination. That is something few can do." They began the journey back through the mountains, careful but unafraid. The orb's light guided them, showing hidden paths, safe passages, and areas where danger might still lurk. The visions that had once overwhelmed Kai were now calm, offering guidance but no longer controlling him. He felt in harmony with the knowledge, aware of its weight, but confident in his own abilities. As they descended into the lower valleys, they encountered remnants of ancient ruins, evidence of civilizations long gone. Kai felt a sense of awe. The curse had shown him history, danger, and wisdom. But now he could truly appreciate the lessons without being consumed by them. He realized that humans were not just survivors, they were explorers, creators, and guardians of knowledge. During a brief rest near a stream, Lirael shared more about the orb and its possibilities. It can heal worlds, restore lost civilizations, and reveal knowledge hidden for millennia. But it can also be dangerous if used without care. That is why our partnership is important. Your human insight and courage complement my wisdom. Together, we can ensure the orb benefits all who deserve it. Kai listened, feeling a deep sense of responsibility. The journey had changed him. He was no longer just an explorer or a man who had acted on a joke. He was part of something larger, a force capable of protecting knowledge, shaping the future, and proving the strength of humans in a galaxy filled with challenges. As night fell, they camped beneath a canopy of stars. The mountains were quiet, and the air was filled with the sound of distant streams. Kai reflected on the journey. He had faced betrayal, danger, and the weight of centuries of memories, yet he had survived because he had trusted his instincts, adapted to challenges, and acted with courage. He understood that humans could rise to meet any challenge, no matter how ancient or powerful. Lirael watched him silently, noting the change in him. "You have grown, Kai," she said softly, "not only in strength and skill, but in understanding. Humans are remarkable because they do not rely solely on power. They rely on intelligence, courage, and unity. You have demonstrated that perfectly." Kai smiled, feeling both humility and pride. "I have learned that humans can face anything when we work together, think carefully, and trust our instincts. We are strong not because we are invincible, but because we adapt and act with courage." In the days that followed, they returned to the lands near Viridian's central plateau. Along the way, they encountered scattered groups of survivors and travelers, some curious about the orb, others wary. Kai and Lirael shared what they could safely, teaching the value of knowledge, caution, and courage. The orb's power was a gift, but they knew it must be handled wisely. One evening, as they rested near a quiet river, Kai looked at Lirael. This journey began with a simple joke, a single kiss. But it changed everything. I never imagined I would learn so much, face so many dangers, and discover the strength humans hold. It is more than I ever expected. Lirael nodded. "It is the nature of life, Kai. Small actions can have great consequences. What you have learned will serve not only you, but countless others. Humans have a resilience and creativity that no curse or ancient power can suppress. You are living proof of that." Kai felt a deep sense of peace. The curse had ended, but its lessons remained. He understood the importance of courage, intelligence, and unity. He had shared Lirael's sentence, experienced centuries of history, and survived unimaginable challenges. Now he could face the future with confidence, knowing that humans could rise above any obstacle. As they watched the sun rise over the mountains, casting golden light across the valleys, Kai realized the journey had changed more than just him. Lirael's mission was fulfilled. The orb was safe. And together, they had shown that humans could face even the most ancient and powerful forces. The universe was vast, dangerous, and full of mysteries, yet it was also a place where courage, wisdom, and determination could prevail. Kai took a deep breath, feeling the cool morning air fill his lungs. He had shared a sentence that was not his own, but he had also discovered the true power of humans. They were not only survivors, but explorers, guardians, and creators. The journey had proven that even in the face of danger, uncertainty, and ancient forces, humans could rise and endure. Lyriel turned to him, her eyes bright with purpose. The future is open, Kai. The orb will guide those who are ready, and humans like you will shape what comes next. Never forget what you have learned. The courage to act, the wisdom to think, and the strength to endure. Kai nodded, feeling the truth of her words. He looked at the mountains, the valleys, and the stars above, realizing that their journey was only the beginning. Humans would continue to face challenges, but they could rise above them, guided by intelligence, courage, and determination. With the orb safe and the curse lifted, Kai and Lyriel continued their journey, ready to explore, protect, and shape the future. They had proven that humans could survive the impossible, that a single act of courage could change the course of history, and that knowledge, when guided by wisdom and bravery, could bring hope to the galaxy. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Kai smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment and hope. The sentence he had shared had transformed into a journey of discovery, proving the power of human courage and ingenuity. Together, they stepped forward into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges the universe would present, knowing that humans could rise, adapt, and endure against all odds.